evening to you. I'm Pearson Bowen. This year's Cropover is being deemed a success. This assessment from Prime Minister Frendel Stewart. He was speaking during the annual Cropover reception hosted at Ilara Court. In attendance, key players involved in the festival, members of Parliament and the Senate, the diplomatic corps, and the King and Queen of the crop. He attributes the success of the festival to the maturity of Barbadians and the vision of the Minister of Culture, Stephen Lashley, his ministry, and the National Cultural Foundation.
Made sure once again that when Barbados was put on display, that it emerged, or that we all emerged like knights in shining armor. And I should like to take this opportunity to thank Minister Stephen Lashley and the staff of the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, and of course the Board of Management and the CEO and members of staff of the National Cultural Foundation for the impressive execution once again of this Cropover Festival.
Prime Minister Stewart was pleased that the numerous events were well patronized.
As I understand it, the festival lasted over about 8 weeks. There were upwards of 40 events, all well patronized, and that is a tribute to Barbados, but is also a tribute to those who planned the various events and guaranteed their exquisite and basically unflawed execution.
It's a new marketing plan by the National Cultural Foundation that will allow Barbadians in the diaspora to get a taste of Cropover in an effort to attract more visitors to Barbados. Culture Minister Stephen Lashley revealed some of the details on the final day of the 3rd Diaspora Conference, Barbados Network Consultation 2014, held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre.
Once Cropover concludes, particularly in those markets where we have Barbadians and certainly visitors, persons who will be interested in having a package arrangements, packaging of elements of Cropover, and having those events actually put on in major venues in your particular locale. That is an area that the NCF is looking at as well, where a taste of Cropover, the best of Cropover, can be actually be experienced in markets in your particular territories.
And now we want to hear from you. Your take on this question. Do you believe the music produced during this year's Cropover was among the best by Bajan artists? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll share the results at the end of the news. 2 young men considered armed and dangerous are being sought by police. Romario Antonio Clark, 20, of Gardenland Country Road, St. Michael, and Rashane Anil Blenman, 18, of Fitz Village, St. James, are wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. Clark is about 5 feet 9 inches tall, of slim build and dark complexion. He has an oval head and low black hair. Blenman, meanwhile, is about 5 feet 10 inches tall, slim build, and is of dark complexion. He has an oval head, a long nose, and black and brown hair. Clark and Blenman are advised that they can present themselves to the police accompanied by an attorney at law or a relative. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Romario Clark or Rashane Blenman is asked to contact the police emergency at telephone number 211, the nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS, that's 1-800-8477. Well, the police are also reminding members of the public that it is a serious offense to harbor or assist wanted persons. Anyone caught committing this offense can be prosecuted. The search also continues for 27-year-old Hainsley DaCosta Brown, alias Fabian Jaman or Scruff. His last known address is Drackhall, St. George. Brown is advised that he too can present himself to the police accompanied by an attorney at law or relative. And with more police news, one of the 2 men who allegedly robbed a man late Tuesday night along Hardwood Alley in the city has been arrested. A bag and its content were also recovered. The police is appealing to the victim of that robbery to contact the Criminal Investigation Department at telephone number 7189 as soon as possible. Well, Barbadians are being assured the health of the nation will not be compromised, as government will provide the necessary assistance to combat any threats. That assurance from Health Minister John Boyce during a press briefing to announce plans for stepped-up surveillance at the country's ports of entry in the face of the rapid spread of Ebola.
You have a disease that took root in your country, any disease. The threat is an economic threat, really, because you could lose, even if it's for a short period, you could lose significant percentages of your workforce, for instance. So it is something which you have to fight with all the resources.
Mr. Boyce is confident that Barbados has a team of specialists that can handle any disease that emerges. Meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand says though there are no travel restrictions at this time, she's advising people to defer travel to West Africa. But she says practicing good hygiene will be important if anyone decides to travel to the affected areas.
Hand hygiene is the most important. Apart from that, if you are going to any of those countries that have Ebola, you must avoid contact with blood and blood fluids. Do not handle items that may have come in contact with an infected person's blood or body fluids. Avoid funerals or burial rituals that require handling the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Avoid contact with animals or even with raw meat over there.
Chief Environmental Health Officer Tyrone Applewhite says a Ministry of Health team has implemented a system through which it will map cases of dengue fever. This system, he says, has proven to be effective. He explains how it works.
All of the complaints in Barbados are uploaded on a JS system. All of the suspected dengue cases, all of the positive houses, all of the drainage, all of the wetlands, all of this is put into a system, and then we can see areas where we have cases, complaints, so that we are in a better position to actually target those areas.
Mr. Applewhite says inspections continue at schools, underground, at hotels and health centres.
We also carried out a comprehensive inspection of all the hotels and so on. We are doing that right now. I started about 2 months ago. In addition to that, we are also inspecting all of the medical facilities in Barbados where people may be going to if they present any signs and symptoms. So we have a very good program there where we went in there and we did all the inspections around clinics, polyclinics and so on, so that we want to make sure that there are no mosquitoes in those areas so that when patients come, they will not be bitten by mosquitoes.
Prime Minister Frundle Stewart is deeply saddened at the news of the passing of Sir Dennis Williams. The Prime Minister says Sir Dennis lived an exemplary life and gave willing and unselfish service at all times to the nation he loved. Sir Dennis became the youngest judge in the Commonwealth at the age of 37. Prime Minister Stewart says he served Barbados and the Caribbean with great distinction as Chief Justice from 1986, a position from which he retired in 2001 after 34 years of service in the judiciary. He also served as Governor-General of Barbados after the death of Dame Nita Barrow from December 1995 to June 1996. And former Attorney General and MP for St. Joseph Dale Marshall noted Sir Dennis' long and distinguished legal career in this country. He described him as a true nation builder, courteous and dignified, saying he possessed an extensive knowledge of the law. Mr. Marshall says one of his most outstanding attributes was his ability to deliver judgments in a timely manner. We'll have more news just ahead in just a moment, including a crackdown on lateness by school children from September.
your family in shape with Bico Diabetic Delight, now just $14.99 VAT inclusive. Available in delicious vanilla, mango, and strawberry flavors. Offer available for a limited time only from participating retail outlets, Bico Mobilers, and the Bico Direct outlet. Bico Diabetic Delight. It's never been so easy to stay in shape. Now extended by popular demand.
You just got into a car accident. Now you have to fix it and you don't have a cent. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. Your home got flooded out and you've lost it all. And chances to recover start to look very small. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy.
Want to live the worry-free life today? Call us at Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt. Beacon Insurance. Switched on.
The Ministry of Education is pressing full steam ahead with its efforts to stamp out lateness among school children. And from September, students will have a time limit in the morning in which they will be allowed to ride on Transport Board buses free of cost. This was revealed by Education Minister Ronald Jones following a presentation of awards to some school students at the ministry's headquarters. The minister notes the success of the system will be highly dependent on the cooperation of parents and other stakeholders.
The Transport Board would know and communicate that if for whatever reason the bus itself is late in moving the children, that they would communicate to us so that we can communicate to the particular schools that these children are late because of A, B, or C. And it would have strictly to relate to the availability and the movement of the bus. Now, if there are accidents or anything, God forbid, those things we take into consideration.
Glenderry Prison has the potential of generating thousands of dollars in revenue as a tourist attraction. This from Senator Henry Fraser as he was speaking at the Diaspora conference at the Lord Erskine Sandiford Center. He says prison museums are top tourist attractions around the world.
Everywhere in the USA, which has 40, except for Chicago, where they have the Niagara Falls, Orlando and California, where they have Disney World. In the other states of the USA, the prison museums are the top attractions. In Dublin, the prison museum receives 350,000 visitors a year, 3 times the number of Harrison's Cave at its best. Prison museums are loved by everyone. They love the gaol, they love the ghost, they love the mystery. And you don't have to repair the buildings. That's the beauty of it. You would repair the sections you want to put a theater in, perhaps, or to put exhibits in. But prison museums are an absolute sellout.
Barbados Ambassador to the U.S., John Beale, is making a call to action for historic buildings to be kept in good condition. He wants civil society to lend a hand in the renovation initiative.
Ownership really does not matter, in my opinion, so much. What matters is to have a building that is put into proper condition, run in an appropriate manner and whatnot. If I own it, or he owns it, or you own it, doesn't really matter that much. As far as I'm concerned, I would think that there possibly are a few of those buildings that I would say should be given to some institution or somebody who is willing to do something with it to make it into a profitable or something that is meaningful to the society and people of Barbados.
Minister in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Darcy Boyce, says government is making it a priority to facilitate those living in the diaspora who see opportunities for investment which could generate foreign exchange and boost economic growth in Barbados. Speaking on the final day of BNC 2014, he said Invest Barbados stands ready to assist. He's encouraging those Barbadians living abroad to put forward their ideas for enterprise.
Must be some opportunities that the diaspora, members of the diaspora, would wish to pursue either on their own in Barbados or in joint venture with Barbadians who are resident here and trying to grow the economy and trying to generate foreign exchange.
Allowing returning nationals to buy cars duty-free has resolved a major headache for them in a manner that benefits the country. This was the prevailing sentiment during the final session of the Barbados Network consultation entitled Returning Home, Building Pathways to Resettlement. Representatives of the Car Dealers Association, Johnny Tudor, says the concession makes sense And that's because Barbadians coming home have to pay for the vehicles with foreign currency, allowing the island to earn valuable foreign exchange.
I am very sorry that I am not a returning national, because the price that I will pay for the BMW that you should buy is significantly less than where I live here. I have to pay the duty. So if I have a problem, I have a problem because you have a tremendous advantage in coming back and paying significantly less than what I have to pay who stayed and work. And these are some of the arguments that you will hear locally. What the Barbadians don't understand is the tremendous contribution that the returning nationals are making to the economy that we cannot make.
Well, Henderson Griffith, a beneficiary of the program, says making the duty-free purchase is quite simple.
So if you get with the dealer and you get the identity of the car, the VIN number, make and model, you can pretty much start the process. One of the big requirements, of course, is that you pay for that car in